And we live. It's your boy Wild Tuna, Streets Over Streams podcast. Welcome back to another exclusive. Big shout out to our sponsors and to our hosts and our whole family at Radio Pushers, Results and No Hype Magazine, DrippyFish.com, Culture District HQ, 99.7 The Heat. We here, we live, and I'm honored to introduce an honorable guest, P.Money. What's happening?
Hey, we got P.Money, you know what I'm saying? I'm blessed to be here. Big shout out to Radio Pushers and the whole team, you feel what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You already know the vibe. So, we're going to get right into it. Streets Over Stream podcast. We want to get the exclusive on you. We're glad you came to this family and we want to welcome you the correct way and put you on this nice run. But we got to let the people know it's exclusive. We got to know where you from. Tell us about your hometown and things like that. So start out with that.
Yeah, so I'm from Kent, Ohio. It's about, 30 minutes south of Cleveland, College Town, Kent. Shout out Rough Riders, you feel what I'm saying? Okay. I currently live in Cuyahoga Falls, nice little suburb around the way. All we do is we love music where I'm from, and we get to it. We share the love, and we network, and we collab, and we grind, man. Back up against the wall, we got to get to it.
Right. That's heavy. So what's it like in your city? Give us a little insight. What's it like to walk the streets of where you from?
I mean, it's live. There's so much energy. You can imagine we got college kids everywhere. There's always parties, definitely bars. We got good food. We have beautiful scenery downtown Kent on the south side. We got the river walk. You can go down there, see the waterfall. Nice little puffer belly train station. You feel what I'm saying? We got red brick roads. They like to keep it natural, and they have them closed off so you can't even drive on them. And we always have different events going on. They have outside concerts that happen all the time. It's always full of live energetic. We got the Kent Fest that happens. We got two of those. We have 4th of July vibes. Everybody walking around. We also have the Halloween Kent Fest. Everybody's walking around in their wild costumes and things like that. Right. So it's a good diverse mix of people. And it's a great place to be, honestly.
Oh, that's love. Look, you gotta be ready to move out that joint. That's
you feel me? Yeah.
Sound like where I need to be at. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What's the club scene like out there? It's a nice club scene. What's the vibes?
There's a lot of different clubs, but if I'm gonna go somewhere, I'm gonna slide up to Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? I might hit up Captivate. You know what I'm saying? It's different kind of vibes. What you into? I like to shout everything out, like the LGBTQ. You got the Inner Belt in Akron. You feel me? Right. But, I like to move around when it comes to the club because I like hip hop music. So definitely be up in Cleveland for that.
That's love. Yeah. I'm definitely going to have to take a trip to the O.
Okay. That's how we riding.
So talk to me. Who some of the big promoters out there? You know any big names or, what's the scene like with that?
The promoters, man. So, I definitely want to shout out Ohio Entertainment Awards. Actually, shout out to Dre Day, shout out to Andrew Lloyd. They're doing their thing. And I was actually honored last year for the Hip Hop Awards in Ohio. Basically, what Ohio Entertainment Awards is, you can imagine like the Grammys for Ohio. And they've been doing this for a long stretch. So last year, I was actually in the nominees for Best New Female Artist. And although I didn't take number one on that, I did get a lot of connections, and, they rent out grand buildings and everybody comes in and they, it's a great vibe. So they definitely doing their thing and, very well connected, always trying to tap in. They just hit me up earlier, said, man, come do this show December 3rd. That's 4 days before my birthday. It's an opportunity to open up for Sexy Red and Boozy. So, I'm definitely going to be there and turn up.
Oh, that's love. And your birthday, was the 7th?
Yeah, you already know I'm a 7s baby. Everything's 7s. Okay. 7 heavy.
You walking heavy.
We Sagittarius. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Sagittarius.
Yeah, big shout out to them. I got a daughter and I got a mom that's a Sag. So
so you know the energy, the vibes, okay?
Yeah. Y'all real sturdy.
And sturdy, heavy.
You want your way. Y'all don't let nothing else go. It's always your way.
I mean, I cannot argue with that.
That's a good job. But then talk to me about, the FM radio stations out there. Y'all got any major stations? Anything?
Z1079, they always popping. Shout out to DJ Chris Stylist as well. I'm working with him, about to get some music put on Z1079. That's huge. 96 FM, 101.1, 98.1, 88.1. Tap in.
Yeah, that's the vibe, man. Big shout out to the radio family out there, man. It's always important to It's always important to tap in with the radio families, man. The DJs, It's the culture. The DJs is the staple of hip hop. We always got to show love to the DJs, man. So shout
That's
out to
right. You
them.
know what I'm saying? They're the one who play the vibes for us to vibe to all day, you know?
That's a fact. That's a fact. And you know all about networking. You know, you always in the right places. You always meeting the right people. So, you know, give us a little bit insight, you know, what we was talking about off air. You got some big events coming up too.
Yeah, so definitely. I just got back from Atlanta. I want to say shout out to Riley, shout out to Next to Rise Tour. You feel me? I went down to Atlanta, I performed, and I moved on as one of the top 5 people. That's going to be going down January 6th to Orlando. Benzino got a hip hop extra magazine coming out. So I get a slot in his magazine as well as a 10-minute performance at an event he's hosting. And all of this just came from taking that chance, networking, hopping on that plane, going to do that show, turn up, giving my best energy possible, getting the recognition that I know I deserve. And, you know, look, let's go. Now we on to the next show. And it's only elevating from here. You know what I mean? So that's huge.
Right. That's major. That's major. You really moving. You know, how you find the motivation to keep this rolling? Like, what's your motivation? What keeps you on track? What keeps you organized? You know, what keeps you from, you know, taking days off?
Man, I ain't gonna lie. There ain't no days off. It ain't no sleep. I work 2-3 jobs on the real to get to this money, to be able to fund this and make it happen. My motivation is my pain, and my motivation is, you know, I don't come from money. My mom, you know, she had some issues, and I just found my dad last year. So you can imagine I raised myself, but I've been blessed with this talent ever since I was young. So I knew it was inside of me. So now it's just like, if I don't go get it, and if I don't go put it on the table, ain't nobody gonna do it for me. You can never expect somebody else to give you something. You have to be the one to go get it. I don't want to hear about, I'm tired, I'm sick, I'm none of that, man. You sleeping on yourself, and then you just not gonna make nothing happen.
That's a fact. That's definitely a fact. Let's touch more on that. Let's talk a little bit about, you know, your childhood and your upbringing. You know, give us a couple highlights and, you know, things that you remember, or, you know, motivating or even you know, life-changing moments that brought you to where you are now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be transparent. I've always one thing about a Sagittarius too. We might be too bold, but I'm gonna let y'all know how it is. I mean, so my mama raised me. And when I was about 4 or 5, I ended up in foster care. She went through some struggles, but shout out to my mom. I love my mama. She did what she had to do to get me back, fought real hard. A lot of parents won't. They'll give up, but not mine. She did what she needed to do. I come home. You know, I grew up in an apartment complex, you feel what I'm saying? And from 1st to 12th grade, we had a pool, swimming pool. She knew I loved swimming. My mom put me in swimming lessons. Music and swimming really helped clear my mind and elevate me. Anything with the water, you know what I'm saying? And we was poor. My mama on SSI. My mama never worked a day in my life. She never driven a car a day in my life. You know, she had a license back in the day, but we was on food stamps. We was on welfare. We was on, like, you gonna eat what we have. And you know, we lived on the 3rd floor. My mama couldn't always climb the stairs, so I'm the one going down, doing the laundry, bringing it up. I'm the one going to the grocery store down the street, pushing the cart back with the groceries. Those things, yeah, you know, maybe I was put in a position that other children didn't, you know, they didn't have to experience that. But for me, that made me who I am today. It made me strong. It made me have no days off. What is a day off? What is what is a sit down? What is I don't go get it, because that's all I've ever known, was to be the one to make it happen. And that reflected in every situation that I've ever been in my life. I've always been the provider, the driver. You know what I mean?
Right. I definitely feel that. That's heavy. And you know, that being said, what's the legacy that you plan on leaving? What do you want the world, your family, the people that listen to you and, you know, support what you're doing? What do you want them to, you know, remember about you?
There's 2 things. And the first thing I'm going to say is, you know, positivity through words, through lyrics. I want to be like the difference. You know, they say be the change that you want to see. You know, I can rap heavy, I can rap hard, I can rap trap, I can rap savage, but I can also rap pain, and I can rap, you know, poetry, and I could be, you know, I could tell you my story through words without cussing. And my whole thing is, you know, the music is what these kids are eating up. Shoot, it's what I ate up. You know, I ain't gonna lie. My influence is Eminem, you know, but at the end of the day, what we say reflects upon who are around and who's listening to us. So I want to be a positive shift. We can sound cool. We can have great music, but it doesn't have to be all this, what it is today, that violence and everybody versus everybody. No, man, you know, it's not about me versus you. It's about, let's work together so we can go up, so we can get where we need to go. That's the first thing. The second thing on my legacy is, honestly, I just found out my father last year. Everybody's always like, what's your ethnicity? Kind of look Hispanic, kind of look whatever. Well, I found out I am part African American. And that was interesting growing up too, because my mom, she is Italian and she's European. So, you know, we was around that side. And so for me, my last name is Linger. That means linger on forever. You'll hear me, you're gonna feel me. And so I
Right.
do, you know, want to push forward my name and into the African American community, whether that be through stepchildren, whether that be through, you know, whatever. I want the Linger name to go on. African American United, you know, Black
Right.
Power,
Right.
baby.
Throw them up. You know what I mean? Big fist.
Okay, yeah. So that's real. That's something that's real to me, real heavy, real deep.
Right. Yeah, that's major. And let's talk about that. Does your community and, you know, the people you're around now, in your hometown, do they embrace that? What's your connection with the city?
Yeah, so growing up in Kent, there's a lot of people that do music. I'm not gonna lie, like a lot of people I went to high school, they definitely got some things going on, and it does seem like a lot of things are coming together for everybody, and you know, very well loved, very well known, as well as some other individuals. And every time I come around, it's love. You feel me? So we definitely got some heat out here that is this, you know, it's sizzling in the pot, ready to go pop, baby.
Right. That's the vibe. That's the vibe for sure. And it's important to have that because the one thing that a lot of artists, you know, lack these days is that hometown connection. And you got to have some kind of foundation somewhere, even if it's not your hometown, but you got to have that foundation to keep you rolling. You know what I'm saying? Something to fall back on.
That's very true. That's very true. You know what I'm saying? And people, you know, support you where you come from too. Like my family, my friends, my coworkers, people I used to manage. Shout out to Eli Nash too. He's a great producer out here, talented artist. He's making some moves, man. And you know, I've been working with these people since I'm 29, about to be 30, man. 10, 15 years in the making. You know, shout out to Falan. You know, shout out to Ty Cashino. Shout out to everybody Kino. We doing our thing out here, man.
Right. That's heavy. That's major, man. Big shout out to them. And talk a little bit about, you know, the deal with Empire too. You know, you got
Man, so you know that's a great blessing. I also want to shout out Thieveland Records, shout out Stephen Adam. So for that, man, I decided a 5-song EP release, and you know I have recently released 2 tracks of the 5 so far. So you can find "Oh Me" and you can find "Times Ticket" featuring Falan, released through Empire Distribution. Man, it's great. The stream's heavy, and just to be able to be tied in with that name, I mean, that's love, that's blessings, and I mean, it's just crazy to me. I have to thank God. I have to thank God for the talent that He's given me, because if it wasn't for that, you know, I wouldn't be where I'm at today.
Right. Definitely, man. All praises to the Most High. It's just a beautiful thing that we can all come together for the culture and, you know, make music like this and be able to do it. Like you said, you making music, you can make music without cursing. You know, you making all different styles of genre and you reaching out to different, you know, cultures of people, being as though you know, multi-ethnic. And that's dope because we need all that. We need anything that's going to bring people together and uplift them, especially today, you know, with, you know, how we got things going on today, but we definitely need that. And, you know, I'm honored to have somebody like you on this show, you know, because we need as much positivity in the airways as possible.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. You know what I'm saying? They call me P. It's positive P. It's profit P. You know what I'm saying? Can't nothing stop me, baby.
Let's get it. Anybody else you want to shout out? I know we got you listed a lot of people, but anybody else you want to give shout outs to?
Shout out to Visions to Reality Events, you know, LLC on IG, talented wedding and event planner partner, you know what I'm saying? Very talented, very gifted, and just an amazing woman. She gets your wedding together. She gets your party together. She builds you the balloon arc. She got every kind of throne cheer you can imagine. That's Visions 2, the number 2 Reality Events LLC. Shout out. Like I said, shout out Dorian Falan, official. You know, shout out Eli Nash. Like I said, man, we out here getting it. Shout out Riley. Shout out Empire. Shout out, you know, Jonathan from Radio Pushers. Just shout out, man. Everybody is out here coming together. Shout out to the radio stations that's playing my songs right now. Shout out to my mom, my stepkids. You know, everybody to know me, man. P.Money, we out here. Let's go.
Gotta show love to Mom Dukes, you know what I'm saying? And you also mentioned a big name. I heard a big feature you got, you know what I'm saying? Can we talk about that? Is that
Gosh, man, blessings on blessings. Slaughter That Music, $ P.Money, $ featuring Crazy Bone from the Bone Thugs. You feel me? Slaughter That Music. That's available everywhere. You can make a TikTok to it, Instagram story, Facebook, iTunes, Spotify, Tidal, Amazon Music. That is we released that track about a year and a half or so ago. And for that to even be under my belt, you could, the young me, you could be like, man, you would give me 10 years ago and say, yo, P, you finna have a track with Bone. You know, you finna be out here getting it like this, moving around like that. And I've been like, what? But yeah, definitely got a song with Crazy Bone. And even as I'm saying it to you, man, sometimes it sounds surreal. It really does.
Right. Yeah, hard work and dedication. That's where it got you. You got to keep pushing. You know what I'm saying? You know, like I said, you got a major team behind you. You know, family oriented. We all here for everybody to upgrade and get to the next level. So let's keep moving. Let's keep that thing rolling, baby.
It's all about that elevation and getting to that next levels, man. I don't even say sky's the limit, man. Beyond skies, baby.
Right. Straight like that. So I know you mentioned Eminem earlier. So can you give me a top 3? Can you give me a top 3 artists?
It's so hard.
I know.
Eminem.
That's why I asked the way I did.
Lil Baby, because for multiple reasons, man. When he first came out, he's rapping a lot of things that I done lived and I done been through, but I ain't think I would put it on the track. And I said, oh wow, he really talking about it, how it is. Gosh, top 3. Ooh, this is so hard because I mean,
we can do 5. We can do 5 if you want to name some.
Yeah.
Names.
So Eminem, Lil Baby, got a shout out to Crazy Bone, got a shout out to Drake, got a shout out to Kevin Gates. I think I'm already at 5, but man, it's so many people that motivate me on a daily, artist wise.
Right. That's love. That's like, I know, as artists, you got to keep a heavy playlist. You know what I'm saying? You got to expand your music, what they say, your palette, right? So you gotta, make sure you stay in tune with what's going on and what's new when it comes to the music and even just production too. You got any producers that you want to work with out there that like, yo, if you get a chance?
I do. I want to say a couple things.